depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, I want to make a case for Wobbuffet. You see, every so often, I look at cards and I go, why is that not seeing more play? I also get fairly regular requests from people to make videos about underplayed cards, secret techs, things that people should be playing more of but aren't. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think Wobbuffet absolutely falls into that category. Now, I do need to give a shout out to the lovely Darren Jacks here. Lovely dude. We have talked about this card in the past, and that conversation didn't lead to this video. This is a video that's been brewing for a while, but I did have a very nice conversation with a very lovely dude about this, and I think he needs to be given a bit of props for that. So Wobbuffet then. Why am I getting excited? Well, I'm talking about the Wobbuffet from Lost Thunder. And it's not the attack for 1 psychic, 1 colourless energy that does 30 damage but 60 on a head. No, ladies and gentlemen, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ability Shady Tail. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, Prism Star Pokémon in play, yours and your opponent's, cannot attack and have no abilities. Okay, fine, it does shut down your own Prism Star Pokemon, but you know what? Just play this after you've used your Prism Stars. And if you really need your Prism Stars, don't play it. There we go. Problem solved. The thing is, we're in a format at the moment where sneakily, Prism Star Pokemon have been getting really, really good. Biggest use is Tapu Koko. You see, Pikachu and Zekrom decks are also extremely good right now. They are proper job top tier decks. And they've got that combo we've talked about a million times on this channel, whereby you use Thunder Mountain to reduce your attack cost by 1, Tapu Koko to accelerate an energy, and then you do full blitz for 150 while accelerating free energy. And I've talked about the fact that post-rotation you can do it without Thunder Mountain by just energy switching the second energy you get back with Tapu Koko, although it's difficult. But you can't do it without Tapu Koko. Without Tapu Koko, you attach an energy, use Thunder Mountain, and that's your lot. 2 energy, not free. Which essentially means you put Pikachu and Zekrom back by a turn. That wins games. Making your opponent take 1 more turn means you can win the game. It means you get an extra hit on Pikachu and Zekrom, so instead of 1 hit KOing, you can just 2 hit KO. It means that you might be able to get a KO before they get a Tag Bolt off, so they can't just full blitz onto themselves and Tag Bolt next turn. It's taken an extra turn, so now they've got a Tag Bolt with another Pokemon, which could be 2 or 3 turns later after another couple of full blitzes. It slows them down. It means that Boltund has 2 fewer energy on the field, so now all of a sudden that Boltund does more damage for each energy on the field. It does 10 base plus 30 more for each lightning energy on the field. So you stop Tapu Koko and all of a sudden that Boltund is doing 60 less damage. And again, this wins games. It turns off Tapu Koko, which means that they can't get the energy out, which slows them down, stops KOs, gives you an extra hit, etc. And again, if you're rocking a 50-50 matchup, and you can slow your opponent down by a turn, maybe more, or you can get an extra KO, or something along these lines, then all of a sudden, you're winning. You are in a phenomenal position, and things are going your way very, very quickly indeed. But these aren't even the only uses. One of my favourite, by which I mean least favourite, uses is Ditto when I'm playing Dragapult. You see, Dragapult has that awesome attack that does 130 to the active and drops 5 damage counters on my opponent's Pokemon in any way that I like. And when I'm playing against Dragapult, which I do more than playing with Dragapult, I've played a lot with Dragapult. I mean, I uploaded an entire tournament playing Dragapult on this channel. I'll try and remember to link it in the description. But generally speaking here, I can only bench Ditto when I go first. If I go second, my opponent is going to attack with Dragapult before I've had a chance to evolve Ditto. So if I go second, I am not allowed to bench Ditto And if I do, I probably give up a prize. Well, let's say I go first. I bench a Ditto. I'm going, ha 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 ha. I know that I can evolve this before you can attack and KO it on the bench. I'm good. And then the Dragapult player drops a Wobbuffet. I can't evolve Ditto. And the messed up thing is, my opponent probably isn't going to KO Ditto now. Because my opponent knows that that Ditto is a useless Pokemon sitting on the bench doing literally nothing. But it's got 40 HP and it'll be there later. I mean, the best thing about it is it's got a retreat cost of 1. It's the only saving grace, and even that isn't good. So at some point later in the game, when my opponent feels like it, they can drop 4 damage counters onto a Ditto Prism Star and take an extra prize, and there's nothing I can do about it unless I can somehow boss his orders and KO the Wobbuffet and then evolve the Ditto straight away. So now imagine you're playing a Dragapult deck, and you just put 1 Wobbuffet into your deck. All of a sudden, your Zacian-Jirachi matchup has just become really quite favourable. Your Pikachu and Zekrom matchup has just gotten a fair bit better. And any deck playing Ditto, you've now got a big advantage over. Not to mention, Ditto is often used to play random one-off Stage 1 decks, and now those random one-off Stage 1 decks just aren't coming out. And the other use I see for this is Diancie Prism Star. Now, this is a bit more of a niche use, because fighting decks still aren't seeing a huge amount of play, but Excadrill is sitting around there. And Excadrill uses Diancie Prism Star quite a lot. And what we see is that Martial Arts Dojo aside, Diancie helps a lot of numbers. So let's say, for argument's sake, in Firebox decks, we've got stuff like Victini, and we've got stuff like Ninetales. What do they both have in common? They have got 190 or 200 HP. Which means Excadrill's 11th hour tackle with 3 cards left in deck will not get a KO, but Excadrill's 11th hour tackle with 3 cards left in deck and a Diancie on board will get a KO. Unless Wobbuffet hits the field. And I know that they might be playing Martial Arts Dojo, but late in the game, when all the Martial Arts Dojo have gone, and bearing in mind, Excadrill discards a lot of cards, so it is quite difficult to keep the stadium in play until the end of the game, because you'll often end up discarding 1 or 2 using Excadrill's first attack, or just having to discard your hand because you do need to run through your deck so well that it's often not an option. Or something like Pikachu and Zekrom. Let's say Excadrill is not behind on prizes. Pikachu and Zekrom has 240 HP. Drill Bazooka does 240 with weakness, gets a KO. So one thing that we see quite a lot on Pikachu and Zekrom is Big Charm. Big Charm gives an extra 30 HP, and 30 is crucial. Because if you're not behind on prizes, then Martial Arts Dojo does an extra 10 damage. With weakness, it does an extra 20 damage. Which means you'll still be 10 damage short. If you're not behind on prizes, and most Excadrill decks are not playing Vitality Band. So if you're not behind on prizes, and Pikachu and Zekrom whack a Big Charm on, your only ways to get a KO are get down to 3 or fewer cards left in your deck, which honestly isn't usually an option. It's usually just not even a viable option. Not early in the game. It's too difficult. You just can't get through that many cards. Or you drop Diancie Prism Star. Now, I'm not saying this gives Pikachu and Zekrom a good matchup against Excadrill. It's still a horrendous matchup. But maybe that gives you just enough time to actually get a Tag Bolt off. And maybe that Tag Bolt takes out both the Excadrill on the field, and a third one never comes out and Pikarom wins. It's a long shot, but you know what? It's a terrible matchup. But if that Wobbuffet can give you a fighting chance, while turning off any opponent's Ditto, why not? And then there's all the extra little uses. I played against a deck yesterday that was playing Xerneas Prism Star. It's not an absolute powerhouse card by any stretch of the imagination, though it can be quite useful, but my opponent started with it, and now they've got a pointless 2 retreat Pokemon on their field that they can't do anything with. I'm not saying Wobbuffet is going to suddenly turn around and start winning you matchup after matchup after matchup, but I am absolutely telling you that it can help a lot, and in the format we're in, this is something you really need to keep an eye on. So do consider putting a Wobbuffet in your deck, would ya? But I'd like to hear from you guys at this stage. Do you put Wobbuffet in your deck? Have I convinced you, or do you think I'm just being a little bit silly? Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.